My wife Rachel, 35, and I, 35 male, have been married for many years now, and we have a daughter, Leah, teen female. I'm not proud to admit it, but I had another child while I was married to Rachel through another relationship. That's Aiden, tween male. I kept it a secret from them, and I paid child support to Aiden's mother. I was meeting absolutely all of their expenses. She had a good job too. She passed away recently, and Aiden was alone. I did not want my son to suffer like that without any parents. The reason I didn't reveal his identity to Rachel and Leah was that I didn't want to cause a fight, but now I had no choice. I went through all the proper procedures to get custody of Aiden. Recently, I made him live in my house. My wife and Leah did not take it well. They went ballistic when they learned about him, and Rachel screamed how I shouldn't even dare to think of letting him take a step inside. Leah was saying the same stuff, but I didn't back down. They eventually had to be okay with the decision. They've been absolutely livid about it, and Rachel's been demanding to get Aiden away from the house. I told her I wouldn't do that, and I warned her against doing anything to him. Leah got mad and asked me whether I value someone who was born out of a loose woman, and I lost my temper. I got up and told them to get out of my house if they didn't want to reside with Aiden. In the end, Rachel was crying and they're not talking to me. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Major one. This situation your family is in is your fault. You cheated on your wife. You kept it a secret. And now you sprung a secret like this on them with no warning. And now they have to live with a stranger and treat him like a son and a brother with zero adjustment time? You didn't want to start a fight? How'd that work out? I hope you enjoy being a divorced dad. And you know who your son will blame for the scorn he gets from his sister. Congrats on alienating your whole family. Dude, give her a divorce and let her move on with this horrible part of her life. I don't think you know how badly you destroy people when you cheat. Some of them never recover again to be able to love. This is despicable behavior. Leave your wife and daughter in the house and find an apartment for you. Kicking her out is ridiculous. She didn't do anything. You did. You did it all. He also fooled her into thinking he was a half-decent person. If she'd known what garbage she was married to a decade ago, she could have divorced him then and maybe built a nice life with someone who actually loves her. He stole a decade of her life because he didn't want to start a fight, which actually means he didn't want her to know what kind of man she was married to. He didn't really want to face the full consequences of his actions. He did the minimum in acknowledging Aiden and paying child support, but never fully owned up to everything until he absolutely had to. He's a coward. Ironically, if this is true, he also may have screwed himself over here. In states with alimony and for federal purposes, being married for 10 years is often a major milestone. Rachel may be due far more during divorce proceedings now than she would have been 12 years ago. Update. I don't want Leah absent from my life, and Aiden's also my son. I have the right to bring him to my house as his father. For those who are gleefully saying that they hope Rachel divorces me, I'd rather have Aiden in my house than live with Rachel or Leah without him. I'm rich and I can make my own path and find another wife if I want to. Absolutely nothing justifies calling her mother a loose woman, like Leah did. Using that language absolutely blames him, his mother, and his ostracism. And yes, it is my house. It's theirs as well, but not legally. I own it. I gave them time to process it. I didn't suddenly bring Aiden in, just to clarify. Oh boy, his update doesn't redeem him at all. I can find another wife if I want to. It's my house. I ripped the world down around my wife's ears and then dared to get mad when she and my daughter got angry with me? Wow, what an idiot. Also, OP, under no illusion that if all you've done is be the bank for your son, he wants nothing to do with you right now either. I'd rather have my son in my life than my daughter was also special. This guy is truly despicable. The fact that he's rich, yet after 14 years of marriage, he gave his wife zero legal rights over their house and is behaving so callously, it's just gross. I'm also thinking about the tween son who's watching this go down. He likely already knows that he was an affair baby, secret child, or a secret family, which is incredibly damaging itself. Now he's watching his dad throw a huge temper tantrum because the secret's out and indicates that he's willing to throw away a wife and another biological child. I live with my girlfriend, and we live in a town different from my mom's. It's not too far, but you still need a full day free to actually travel there to visit. Because of this, I don't get to see my mom that often. My father passed away years ago, and my mom has also lost 2 children in the last 5 years, so I'm her only living child. She lives on her own and doesn't have a lot of people nearby, apart from her sisters. I will often phone my mom a few times a day to catch up or tell her something that's happened. I don't like the thought of her just sitting alone all day. I would often phone her 5 times a day, and at the weekend, my girlfriend asks to talk to me. She says that she thinks I call my mom too much, and she thinks I should reduce the amount that I do it. I asked why she thinks that, and she just said it's weird, the number of times I phone her, and that it's too excessive. I disagreed with her and told her that it's not excessive at all. She got annoyed and accused me of not listening to her or considering what she was asking. I told her there's nothing to consider and that I'm not reducing how much I talk to my mom just because my girlfriend thinks it's too much. She said I was completely disregarding her feelings and being unfair. Am I the idiot for refusing to reduce how much I talk to my mom? 5 times a day? Does mom even want to be bothered that much? I wouldn't. I'll be honest. You are the idiot. It's lovely that you care about your mom, but that is a lot. Then when someone seemingly voiced concern, you simply got defensive immediately. That isn't healthy. I'm not suggesting you need to slow down. However, when someone you care about enough to be with voices a concern, you should at least consider their side. Take a few days, really think about it, and revisit it. Your lack of ability to communicate calmly and reach a mutual understanding makes you an idiot on this one. Dude, I know you probably mean well, but your relationship with your mom feels unhealthy. How long have you been at this level of 5 calls per day? I tend to think your girlfriend was too understanding for too long. Also, by calling your mom 5 times a day, you're holding your mom back from finding friends and other people to talk to. Your mom deserves the chance to live her life without you constantly calling her. Sure, she's gonna say she wants you to call, but really think about it. How can she move on if you call so much? Please consider reducing the calls. Set up a certain time of day to call once. My husband and I have been married for about a year. He has a tween, Nia, and I have a younger tween, Adeline. My husband's the kind of guy who considers himself very manly. He won't do anything he considers feminine. For example, if I need tampons, I have to buy them myself because he thinks it's too feminine for him to do. However, he's a hypocrite because he does everything Nia asks him to do. For example, Nia loves doing makeup on other people, and my husband lets her use him as a model. Well, yesterday, I got home to my husband kneeling in front of Nia and polishing her toenails. Adeline asked me to polish her nails for her. I was busy preparing the dinner, so I asked my husband to do it. He told me that he's not comfortable with doing this, too feminine. I asked him why he was comfortable doing this for Nia. He told me to ask Adeline's dad to do it, and I told him that Adeline's dad's not here right now, is he? Just do it. He refused again. I told him he's a jerk and a hypocrite and is showing favoritism. He called me an idiot. Am I? Why did you marry a man who's afraid of buying tampons for you? You are the idiot for marrying a jerk. Great role model for your daughter. You knew how he was, decided to marry him, and subject your daughter to him anyway. You can't be surprised when he behaves the way he's always conducted. OMGzers. My husband used to keep tampons in the passenger door of his truck, just for me and my daughter for emergency reasons. This is the right kind of masculine man. Drives a masculine car, but has female things, just in case. I wonder why OP's hubby was a single dad in the first place. I'm going to guess. His double standards and views. You married a misogynist, and now you're surprised that he's behaving like a misogynist? Are you okay? Have you had a stroke or something? Did you get married after a week? How could you have not seen this? Your husband sounds like two shoelaces and chewed up gum are holding together his masculinity. He's also showing clear favoritism to his daughter and neglects to show any of the same care to you and your daughter. How could you allow him to treat you and your daughter like that? Good job picking a stepdad who doesn't care about your daughter. I am a 48-year-old female, and my oldest son is 22. He's been with his fiancée, daughter-in-law, since they were 20, and he wants to marry her. I'd always liked her before now. She's a smart girl, fits in well with the family, is driven, and makes my son happy. Everything was all roses until they got engaged. Since I was little, I've been fascinated with jewelry. When I was older, married and had income, I started collecting rings. I would design them myself, used to ask friends and family to give me the cash I need to put towards them, and save up my disposable income towards whatever ring I wanted. It's my family's custom to always give cash at celebrations. It's also very normal in my community to ask your friends to give you cash. I've done this myself for my friends. However, the majority of the cost of each piece of jewelry was always borne by me. Whatever I got from birthdays was a bonus top-up, not something I relied on to be able to afford it. I wasn't buying one every year, but over time, I had a nice collection of rings. My favorites are a sapphire with a halo of diamonds, an emerald in a trilogy with 1-carat diamonds on either side, and a ruby set in a pave band. After my son got engaged, we invited him and daughter-in-law to dinner at our home, and daughter-in-law asked to speak to me. She said she's been seeing my emerald ring over the years, and she's always wanted one. She pointed out that I wear it least often, which is true, and demanded that I gift it to her as an heirloom engagement ring. This is in addition to other wedding gifts and expenses we had discussed as a family during dinner. This includes gold to the value of approximately 6,000 pounds, which is honestly more than my entire wedding cost, which I still think is a significant amount. This rubbed me the wrong way, and I admit I accused her of trying to pick through my estate before I was even dead. I told her the ring was mine, and I could even sell it on my deathbed if I wanted to. She had no right to expect it, and she was being a rude brat by demanding it. She yelled at me that a ring like that can't just be sold. It should be an heirloom, and it's normal for heirlooms to be passed on while the wearer is still alive. I told her to leave if she was just in my home to demand my property, and she stormed out, taking my son with her. She's mad at me, and my son says I should have just passed the ring to her, since I have others, and it would be a nice gesture to welcome her to the family. He says it's no different than his sister occasionally borrowing some of my pieces. My husband and daughter are on my side, but this is the first time my son has shut me out like this. So am I the idiot? Edit. Daughter-in-law has an engagement ring already. It's a 1-carat cut of diamond and a half pave platinum band, the highest clarity and color. The 4 C's were adhered to. She was wearing it, and my husband and I even admired it during the dinner. For context, her ring is certainly not cheap. Son took my advice on choosing the best stone for the ring when he bought it, and told me that was the design she wanted. My husband and I have put aside money for his wedding. Also, I have a long relationship with my jeweler, so he doesn't charge as much for the making charge as he would to other customers. So my son got a considerable discount. Every woman, even a young, dumb 20-year-old woman, knows better than to try to invade another woman's jewelry box or shoe closet and to insinuate you're past your prime so you don't need those anymore. She's not so smart, that cookie. You are not the idiot, my dear. Your future daughter-in-law sounds crazy, and they're still very young to be getting married. Good luck with her in the future. I feel you'll need it. Oh, hold up. You and your husband have already helped subsidize the engagement ring she has, and now it's not good enough, and she wants another? Your daughter-in-law is quite the entitled gold or emerald digger. If she wanted it for an engagement ring, the proper thing would have been for your son to discuss it with you. Her asking for it is shocking and rude. It's not an heirloom if you're the first owner in the family. Heirlooms tend to have generations behind them, and they're not necessarily given away during the owner's lifetime. Many family mementos are distributed as part of an estate after the owner's deceased. Don't loan anything to her, or you'll never see it again. If she ever comes to your house again, make sure your rings are somewhere she can't access. If she's as entitled as she seems, she may not balk at simply taking something she thinks she deserves. I mean, hopefully I'm just paranoid, but she's behaved so far, and it can't hurt to be on the safe side. And if you want someone specific to have any of your jewelry after you're gone, you should be very specific so she can't simply claim it all as hers. This is the first time I've had drama with my best friend, Trenton, both 27 males, since high school. I've known his wife, Chrissy, since college, and during their wedding I met Becca, who was the maid of honor, 28. She's a really cool person. She has a young grammar school-age daughter who she brings to Trenton and Chrissy when I'm there, so I've gotten to know Becca well. Recently, I broke up with my girlfriend, and I was hanging out more at Trenton's because Chrissy was pregnant. Chrissy suggested that since I don't have anyone to do things with right now, I should get closer to Becca because she likes to try new places too. Becca is fun, easy on the eyes, and would provide great company. We made plans to check out a new brewery, and I was clear that it was as friends. We texted back and forth a few times during the week leading up. Saturday comes, and 2 hours before, she calls frantically, saying her kid was having a meltdown because of her dad's parents and was sick, so she had to cancel. I told her it was all good. The following week, we didn't talk as much, and Chrissy asked if I was going to give the friendship another go. I said maybe. On Monday, Becca called me to apologize and asked if I wanted to check out the brewery on Friday. I said absolutely. Literally 1 hour before, she called me almost in tears, saying the babysitter canceled and asked if I'd be okay waiting for another hour. She was going to take the kid to her parents' house, who lived 30 minutes away, and then would meet me. I told her I wasn't going to wait around another hour because the whole point of this was to have friends to do things with. I'd been bailed on twice, so I was going to go. She offered to have me come to her place, and she'd make us a drink on the back deck, and we could hang out there for the night till her kid went to bed. I said that wasn't the kind of friendship I wanted, and it just felt like our schedules weren't aligning. I wanted a friend with whom I could do things consistently. My time's valuable, and I made plans that fell through 2 weekends in a row. I said maybe there was too much baggage here. She apologized and said she wanted to make it up to me. I said there's no reason to do that. We could just be casual friends like before. But if she ever wanted to hang out late at night when she had more time, then she had my number. That was the end of it. Well, starting on Monday, Chrissy's been angry with me. I stopped at their place last night, and she had comments for me. I told her my side, and she said I knew Becca had kids and that things would pop up. I said I knew they would, but I didn't, and my time was wasted. Well, Becca was cute. Her lifestyle's not something I'm into, so we could go back to the way things were. Chrissy kept going at me in a way I've never seen before. Trenton and I gamed last night, and he said she's still mad, but he thinks it might just be pregnancy hormones. Am I the idiot? On the surface, it seems like you might be in the clear. You don't feel your time's being respected, and you share your expectations clearly. But it's a way to bury the real reason. You are the idiot. You sent her a text that said, I'm not going to put any effort in, but if you want intimacy, hit me up. And yes, that's gross. Yikes, dude. Yep, basically she's got too much baggage for OP to waste his valuable time on, but she's good enough for a late night booty call, but just barely. I think Becca dodged a bullet. You are the idiot for how you talk to her. You don't have to want to be friends, more than friends, into her lifestyle, etc. You could at least be polite and keep it to yourself that her emergencies with her kid are a waste of time and an indication of baggage in your eyes. P.S. She didn't bail on you the second time. She was running late. You bailed.